Oh yeah, that's Kyle's house, I think,
Oh, dope.
and Pat's house.
Nice.
Yeah, I was at that show actually. I'm fairly certain.
Shit.
If this is the yeah, oh yeah, is that Dan?
Oh my god,
That
it
might,
is Dan. I
I'm
see
pretty sure
him
that's
way in the
Dan.
back. Yeah. Holy
Yeah,
shit. That's so
because
funny.
that's I left that show early because it was ungodly hot and gross, and part of the reason I left that show early, so that house had a no shoes rule in the winter,
Oh, yeah,
which is
that's
I guess understandable.
sure.
uh but then someone like broke a bottle on the floor, and I was like, I got like real paranoid about stepping on glass, and I was like, I just not gonna be at this show anymore.
I can't blame you for that at all. that is that is nuts.
Welcome to Noise Floor, a podcast about music and our favorite artist discographies. I'm Troy Sennett,
And I'm Matt Kistler.
and we are here at the end of our Janelle Monáe series for now. I think there's a new album in the works, it seems like, based on her Instagram activity. But for now, we're talking about The Age of Pleasure, released in June of 2023 on Wonderland Art Society and Bad Boy, just like all of the rest of her stuff. Produced by the Wonderland Art Society, the guys in Deep Cotton, Roman Jan Arthur, and the usual crew, along with some other new collaborators on this album. And this is a very different Janelle Monáe record, I think,
Sure
than
is.
anything that she has done before. This was my first time listening to this album, and it's a turn in a lot of ways. And it is an interesting record, I think. I don't want to use that pejoratively because I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on. But I'll say up front, this is pretty easily my least favorite Janelle Monáe record, even though I think it's still a pretty interesting document of where she's at as an artist. What about you, Matt? What's your history with this album?
So I don't have a ton of history with this album. I was definitely on board given how much I liked Dirty Computer, and honestly everything that came before it. I was talking to Jenna about this on the way home from y'all's place last week, and I think something that kind of stuck with me from that conversation was we both kind of were like, yeah, there's not like a banger single on this record. Like it is very like, I would say this is probably the most sonically consistent record she's got. It has a very singular vision. And I love that singular vision is what the people who are coming to her parties like, which we'll talk a little more about as we get into the album. But yeah, I don't know. I listened to this back when it came out. I liked it. I didn't find myself returning to it much. Coming back to it these last couple of weeks, I definitely have found a lot more to enjoy about it. I really love that this is finally, and like just on a personal level for Janelle, I love that this album has finally like kind of gotten away from these like kind of deep-seated things that you feel are wrong with yourself, and is like just straight up embracing everything about the self and the people who surround you. um Obviously that is in a very specific way on this record, which we'll get to. But I really kind of love that energy in general. I think the guests on this record are really stellar. But I don't know that any of the like individual tracks on this record quite reach the heights that say a Make Me Feel or a Tightrope or even like a Queen ended up reaching on previous records. But yeah, I feel like I came away liking this record more than I did initially, which is often the case for me. But I also, kind of had that history to kind of base that off of.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I pretty much agree with everything you said about this as like a huge step in her personal evolution. This is an album about swagger. It's an album that is basically like strutting the entire time in a great way. And I think it's that personal growth, and it's combined with the other kind of thread that I feel like runs through this entire album is this feels like it was intended to be the quote unquote roaring 2020s soundtrack. Like this album, it feels like it's all about parties, it's all about togetherness, it's about being physically together with people. And I feel like it's, the COVID lockdowns, I could imagine giving way to this like obsession with being together with people. There's all of the liner notes are talking about like this album is about toast. This album is about these parties, these very specific parties. You can hear Nate Wonder giving a toast at one point on the album, and it's this. I think that it's all this. At least to me, it seems like the idea of the album was to capture all this pent up energy that that happens when you're apart from people, and then how it all kind of explodes out when you can finally get back together and party again. And she talks about, or in the liner notes, this says, "This was my attempt at capturing the beauty around me." And then in the interviews, she says things like, "If these songs can't work at a party, they're not going on an album. I want it to be so specific to this Pan-African crowd who are my friends. I want it to be a love letter to the diaspora, and if they fuck with it, it's good." And like that's all those things together, like the vision of this album, which is much more reggae influenced than anything else she's done before. A lot more. It's less like experimental pop like the previous ones were. It feels a little more organic than Dirty Computer. And yeah, all those things together, just the vision makes sense, and the vision is pretty cool, even if, like you said, the songs don't all land or aren't as bombastic as like her biggest singles in the past.
Yeah, like I think what kind of the approach to creating this album leads to is just it having a vibe that is like incredibly consistent and absolutely works. Because like if I went to a party and you threw any of these songs on, I'd vibe with them. But I like the point you made about this like coming on the heels of the COVID lockdown. It also, it doesn't necessarily come on the heels of Janelle coming out as bi pan, but does come out not too long after her coming out as non-binary, as well as, more openly talking about polyamory in their life and whatnot. And like this is, this combined with all of the aesthetics, the songs combined with all of the aesthetics of the album is obviously very much a love letter to kind of more open and free love, which, again, very, very apparent in the songs, very, very apparent in the aesthetics of the music videos. Not even the aesthetics, just the content of the music videos. And like, yeah, this feels... Janelle starts referring to themselves as a free-ass motherfucker at this point in their life. And this really feels like kind of an ultimate culmination of that attitude towards one's the way one presents themselves in the world, and the way in which they show up for their friends and their lovers and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, I guess it's not that much longer of it's 5 years between this and Dirty Computer, same as between Dirty Computer and Electric Lady.
Yeah.
Which I guess as her film career has been taking off, makes sense that there's going to be a little bit more of a break between the albums. And it feels like each of those records has been a pretty big reinvention and coincided with, like you mentioned, big sort of, if not changes in her personal life, just public, changes in how public she is about her personal life.
Yeah.
Which is, this kind of feels like the culmination of that.
For sure.
Yeah. There's a teaser trailer for this album that, like, she's often done sort of teasers and commercials and stuff like that for the records, but more like cinematic. This one is like a 90s TV commercial, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It just, it looks like something you would see on a show you taped off of MTV in '99, which is it's a neat vibe, and it feels a little bit like at odds with the content of the album, but I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah, it is a little bit. I think a large part of what that's trying to convey is the fact that Janelle, as is like referenced in many interviews, like this is not just about an album. This is about like a lifestyle. This is about like inviting others in, This is about celebrating the diaspora. And I think that like is just kind of a cheeky way to be like yeah, we're all having a party. Like, why wouldn't you want to be invited? Which like again, obviously that is like very literal in the lead up to this album, given the fact that these songs were in fact played at parties, and the ones that people were attempting to Shazam were the ones that like definitely ended up making it, which I found that so funny that she was like, yeah, I was like walking around the pool seeing if people were like trying to grab their phones when the new songs came on.
That's such a great way to like road test your record or whatever, to focus group it, is to just like have see what people are. I mean, the same thing she did with like the strip clubs. They taking songs from strip clubs for Electric Lady. It's you just got to see what is actually going to make people dance.
Yeah, and I honestly believe that got achieved here for sure.
Yeah, I do too. All right, should we talk about the songs?
Let's get into them.
This album starts with "Float," which was the lead single, also like the longest song on the album. It's kind of interesting as for a lead
like
single.
Country Mile, yeah.
Yeah. Which really just sums up the big ideas of the album. This is a song about growing into a confident person, about being comfortable with being out, with living free, with she gets very specific about her sexuality in the song, something that we've talked about before she would hide for a long time. But it's this, it's a song that is sort of dedicated to this idea, like Muhammad Ali's "Float Like a Butterfly," and the other liner note is inspired by Jane's "Evolution." So that it is this is from the top. This is once again, after Dirty Computer, her most personal statement of an album.
For sure, yeah, and it is not explicitly like an overture or an introduction to the album, but it really does introduce the album like just about as good as any song here could.
Yeah, and also it introduces the musical ideas of the record, which are, like you mentioned, it's very reggae inspired. It's very inspired by Jamaican music. It's inspired by specifically Nigerian music as well. Sean Kuti and Egypt 80 are or Sean. I guess I don't know how to pronounce that. Sean. I don't know how you pronounce
I believe
that.
in an interview she pronounced it Cheyenne. I should have looked it up.
Okay.
But and then the other people on the interview pronounced it Sean. So God
okay.
knows.
Well, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
One of those. But the song has this great horn arrangement, and the horns are all over this album. They get used in really interesting ways, and you get this like there's a double sax solo in the outro. It's pretty exciting in terms of just like a musical direction for the record, I think.
Yeah, it really is. And I love the, specifically pulling in Fela Kuti's son. Like that is like that is a statement unto itself, like a true like revolutionary in all senses of the term. And like Egypt 80 was his band. I don't know how much of a Ship of Theseus situation that band's gone through, but like they really bring it to this song, so who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing is like after working closely with Prince, feels like everyone would want to work with her, and she probably kind of has her pick of collaborators. But I think she picks some like you mentioned in a few minutes ago, she picks very specific. I think she picks very specifically, and everyone kind of makes a statement.
Yeah, for sure.
Much her vocals on this song are much more there's much more rap than not, and in between these the very catchy hook, the chorus. I don't know, anything else you want to say about the song?
I've got a couple lyrics I do want to point out real quick. We've got "Listen, little mama, you like Shibari. Watch me while I show you the ropes." We get a straight up bondage pun. That's
yeah,
wild.
It's good.
One that I actually really do love though is had to forgive all my frenemies. They're not who they pretend to be. Like kind of a foil to this idea of accepting oneself and being out as the person that you truly are, as opposed to like putting up this front for any given reason. Because like you're putting yourself in your I guess your frenemies in this case's shoes. And it's like, oh no, they're doing a different version of the thing I was doing. Like I should lend them some grace, which I like. That's a very thoughtful line that I really love.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. After that is Champagne Shit. A song that I just in my notes was like, this is pure swagger.
Oh
It's
God,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's confident and classy, and that's just what the song is about. It's about like basically strutting through the world and once again like being the biggest version of yourself and being proud of it.
Yeah, for real. And also just being able to throw money around is
Yeah,
also
that too.
a key theme of this song. But that rules. Um, yeah. I honestly love this song. I like not like aside from like the lyrics and just the general swagger of the song, absolutely love the little organ line on this song.
hmm
It's so good. And I just like kind of latch onto it every time, even though it's a little bit in the background.
Yeah, and I mean the horns are great in this one too.
Oh yeah.
There's a moment in the second verse where the horns get like this sounds like someone just like grabs the tape and it says whoop, and then
Yep.
they're back again like a beat later. It's so cool. It's a great like sort of hip hop production moment that breaks into this this song that otherwise is a little more organic sounding. I love that moment. It jumped out at me every time I've listened.
Yeah, it's that is one of my favorite moments on the song is the don't ask me shit about work because I'm on my champagne shit, and then just
Yeah.
like it's as if the record's been stopped, the tape's been grabbed, and then it just comes right back in. It's so good.
Yeah, and I guess I mean we kind of have to talk about Black Sugar Beach just along with this because it is sort of the outro. I don't really know why these two songs are split up. Just to make Champagne Shit more, to give it like a clean break for like a radio push. Do you think?
I would guess so. It like Black Sugar Beach has its own feel a little bit, but like it's one of those trademark Janelle Monáe smooth transitions. And obviously the lyrical content is still very much just coming straight out of Champagne Shit. So I would assume that that's the case. Or that this is a move that happens a couple times on this record. It's just a little like I think this is the most like this seems like it just is the outro out of all of those.
Yeah, the one thing I was thinking about it in terms of like the cinematic nature of a lot of her records, and that this little outro feels like a subtle shift, and that this is like okay, the party shot at the end of a movie, and this is the zooming out is where the credits would start to roll, which is weird. This is like the third track on the record, but
Right.
that was the feeling that I got from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be real. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, when I was talking to Jenna last week about the kind of like new stuff that's been getting posted to Instagram. She's like, "Oh, it's the Age of Pleasure movie, obviously." And I was like, "I was unaware of this, and I haven't done very much reading up on it, but I kind of wonder if we're gonna get something similar to the motion picture, but for the Age of Pleasure, which cinematic moments would make a lot of sense in that case."
Yeah, that would. Next up is Phenomenal, which features Doechi right kind of before Doechi gets like enormous. Is that right?
Yeah, so I know she had been putting out music for a little bit before this, but yeah, Alligator Bites Don't Heal doesn't come out for another, was that late 2024 or 2025?
August of 2024, so it's over a year after this.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, very much like pre absolutely exploding. Like it was very, she was a very if you know artist for a little bit there. But yeah, good pulling in Doechi here. Really really great song. This is one of my standouts for sure.
The bass on the song is insane.
It's
like
nuts.
an upright. I think it's an upright that is like whatever the production on it makes it sound like otherworldly in a way. I don't know what it is, but it's such a cool groove that kind of melds. It's like a jazzy turn to some of the reggae grooves. Like it's a cool combination of ideas.
Yeah, this song in particular, yeah, feels like the most like fusion-y in a way, because like it feels like it is drawing from all these like, I don't want to say disparate genres because like obviously a lot of music informs each other, but like it feels like we're really melding what we've been hearing up to now with this like kind of jazzy rhythm section that is also like somehow in its production removed from jazz a little bit, but still identifiable as such. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. There's that trick that they do with the piano where it's playing this like kind of alternating line that's bouncing back and forth between the left and right sides of the stereo field
Yes.
in the bridge that is like, God, it's so good.
Yeah, it's like this song is impeccably produced. Great guest poll. Some really cool like little things that happen. Like there's that one time, it might be twice, where we get the line, "How do you feel?" Phenomenal, and then the phenomenal just has like all of the reverb on Earth on it, and I love that. But yeah, I don't know, like. This song also has some like great kind of like couplets in it, namely just kind of the opening couplet, "I'm looking at 1,000 versions of myself and we're all fine as fuck." Like it's just incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once again, sexiness and confidence, how these things are tied together and feed each other is kind of the core of this record.
Yeah, for sure. I also want to point out towards the like in the bridge when it's Doechii and Janelle like both singing like with each other, and then like there's kind of some like cool vocal layering stuff happening. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great song. After that is as I flail through my notes, is Hote, which also has sort of the outro of Ooh La La. We can kind of talk about these two songs together. This is doing Hot Hote. How do you pronounce? I don't actually know.
It's pronounced hot. It's fine.
Okay. And which is obviously that's sort of using the homonym throughout the song as a way to play with a lot of things, from gender to this idea of like prettiness versus handsomeness, and how the song references David Bowie, another like artist who infamously challenged gender norms. I look better than David Bowie in a Moon Age Daydream is a great lyric,
an incredible lyric. That was the one that I pulled for sure. Yeah, this song's got some great flute on it too. It's I in a weird way, like this feels to me like a kind of both a continuation of and a foil of Phenomenal, just because like Phenomenal is like very much a like song about someone else, whereas this is like kind of looking in at the self and also feeling basically the same way, which I love. It doesn't hurt that like we also have one of those like very smooth transitions where we get that it's clearly a like Billie Jean informed bass line right at the end of Phenomenal going into Hot. But we also have a callback to an earlier Janelle Monáe line where she brings back "I'm young and I'm black and I'm wild," which calls back to Crazy Classic Life, which also calls back
to Nina Simone.
To Nina Simone, which is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, the long chain of references of this idea building up over the years.
Yeah, for sure. Also, if I keep looking or giving them looks that kill, they're gonna have to come and arrest me is also a great line.
Yeah, and like the liner notes of this site, Grace Jones, who's a Jamaican singer and model and an actress, and then Grace Jones herself comes in on this Ooh La La outro speaking in French. It's just another one of those moments of like, well, let's bring in the people who were most important to the sound that I'm experimenting with here. Yeah,
this having Grace Jones on the album is just absolutely iconic in the most literal sense of the term.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, this Ooh La La is less of a just continuation of the song and more of a, but it's absolutely connected. It's it's an outro for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Outro, interlude, thread that binds the entire thing together. Who can say?
Yeah, I mean this album really is, even without having as definitive of a quote unquote concept, is still doing a lot of the weaving the songs together, the seamless transitions. The first half of this record especially really does feel kind of like one suite of the, like the Metropolis suites.
Yes, definitely.
Next up is Lipstick Lover, which was another single. This was wait, what? Yeah, because there's a music video for this one.
Yes.
This was not the first time on this record, and not the last time. I'm like, is this the horniest song yet? Because it absolutely is. It's got some like dance hall bass and drum grooves, and it's got like the song has like an urgency, I think, to it that contrasts the sort of laid back music in a way that I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. It's got that energy like backing it, but like lyrically, I can also see that for sure. Like this feels like a grasping the moment type song as opposed to a I don't want to say as opposed to a living in the moment song, but like there's a I guess an urgency is really the term I want to use here. So
yeah, I mean, it's once again the liner notes are this is inspired by the lipstick on my neck at that one party and kisses in bathrooms and elevators and beaches and jacuzzis. This idea of like all these places. To me, it seems like all these places that like we couldn't be together with people for years, and then like I said, the energy that comes from then being able to be together again.
Yeah, definitely. Like it is a this is our time, let's take it type jam.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like
I'm
talking around a lot of the like sexual themes of this record because I don't know how to talk about them in a way that like makes a lot of sense.
No, it's fair. I mean, this is an album about love in a physical sense. This album's horny as fuck. Like there's no two ways about it.
There's no getting around it. I'm not trying to like make fun of it. That's just what it is.
No, that's the thing is like I don't want to come off that way. It's just fun to use the word horny sometimes.
Yes.
But yeah, no, like it is. That is the thing is like this song in particular is like there have been many like not nods to queer love on this record and on Dirty Computer and on Electric Lady, honestly. I say honestly as if there weren't full on songs about women being with women on Electric Lady anyway. This is a again, this is an album about like being open and being out, but like there's still the world around you, and you do still have to work around that to some degree or another. So you have to take these moments where you can just be with the people that you love in the way that you want to be with them. And like obviously that doesn't necessarily have to be physical, but privacy is usually pretty important in intimate shit like this, so like obviously that's when you're gonna be doing that shit. I don't know, like it's almost more restrained than I would expect it to be in a weird way, but at the same time, like this is a very like openly sexual song. Like that's all there is to it, as have other songs on this record been, but like this is kind of the one in a lot of ways, with maybe one other big exception later on.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess I should say that like, I think what really works about this is that it feels like these songs are very intentionally written to be played in the moments that they're about, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like
100%.
these are songs about parties that are meant to be played at parties. And I like that as sort of a thematic construction of the album.
Definitely, yeah.
Next up is The Rush, which features Mia Long and Amaray, which is sort of a very like nighttime summer beach vibe type of song.
I like how the chorus on this song like kind of subtly builds. Like it doesn't really it's not like it doesn't reach like a super bombastic levels, but like it just kind of like gets bigger over time over like a relatively short chorus, honestly. But I think that's really cool.
It's only like a 2.5 minute song.
Yeah, as a lot of these songs are.
Yeah, it doesn't really let you live in any single idea for too long on this record, which I guess is again, it fits the flow and the form, because it's like, well, these parties, like, anything can happen. We could be moving in a different way or to a different place at any time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that also like kind of, you know, when you're DJing a party, if you're not me playing the whole song no matter what, people tend to, like, you know, move on like halfway through the song. Like there's the energy in the room, and if the energy in the room fades or feels like it's about to fade, you bring it back up somehow. So like I feel like that's kind of part of what has led to a lot of these songs being on the shorter side.
Yeah. Next up is the French 75, which is an interlude that is, again, sort of a slice of life of a party that then has this sort of the Sister Nancy feature that sets up the next song. This one really is just an interlude. It's mostly just, again, Janelle giving a toast, a thing that, like we've mentioned before, sort of runs throughout this album as an inspiration and the content of the record.
Yeah. Something that this track made me kind of realize is how like kind of personal to the featured artist these features have been thus far. And like I kind of like went back and I was like, oh yeah, like really, like everybody, I feel like in the past a lot of the features on, maybe less so with Dirty Computer, but a lot of like features have been like very like we're gonna stick with the theme of the song, and we're gonna just like we're gonna roll with that. And like I think that is maybe a function of the people that have been chosen to feature in the past, and the way they work maybe. But like this feels like it is giving the featured artists more breathing room to just be like, bring what they have. Because I think on the Rush, Amory was like basically like wrote her verse like the day she was asked to be featured on the song, if I remember correctly. So I think that's really neat, especially like in an album where like most of the point is to celebrate the diaspora, like not to like ask your featured artist to like, okay, well we need it to be like this. Just be like, no, I trust your instincts. Go for it. Do whatever.
Yeah, come
you
here
feel works.
Come here and do your thing on a bigger platform than you've had before.
Yeah, 100%.
That, which again feels very of a piece with her, just her sort of aims and goals of her music in general.
100%. Yeah.
All right. After that is Water Slide, a song that starts with the lyric, "If I could fuck me right now, I would do that," which is
sure
maybe
does.
the most confident, sexy lyric on this album.
100%. Yeah, I personally think this might be the horniest song on the record.
Yeah,
and that might be attributed to the fact that it was mostly about self-love, as is evidenced by that opening line. But yeah, I don't know. Like this song really goes into, like, obviously really goes into the water metaphor given the title, which like comes from many places. Janelle talks in interviews about like feeling as if they are like water these days, you know, kind of in their more freed state, not feeling like as tethered to, you know, identity in one specific way or another, etc. I feel like we've also seen, like, you know, parallels to you know, the moon and the tides on previous songs. So like we're getting a lot of that here. It's about coming. Like that's kind of all there is to it. That was a really long setup for me to talk about that, but you know, whatever.
I have cracked up at the Marco Polo line every single time I've listened to this song. It's so funny.
So fucking good. And it's really extra funny that the Genius annotation for that explains what Marco Polo is. And then it's like, also this is about masturbation.
Yeah, this is an album where I can't say I've clicked on too many of the Genius annotations.
You don't need
like
to.
They're going to be over-explaining the obvious a lot of the time.
It is most of the time. Every once in a while you get, oh, this is a reference to a Stevie Wonder song, but 9 times out of 10, it's this is about fucking, which is fine because it usually is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think this is a really good song. This was another single, I believe, had a music video.
Yes.
Which is the videos for this album are very much, along the lines of the content of the album. There are parties, there's dancing, there's a lot of people wearing very little clothing. Like it's what you'd expect if you listen to the album.
Yeah, what kind of struck me about like the overall way that the music videos are is that like this is 2023, like we're fully in HD everywhere, but everything like kind of has this gauzy VHS feeling, which I really love that was like an explicit choice made. I think a lot of this was like filmed on film. I think she mentioned in interviews. I'm not 100% on that, but she was talking about how that was like very important to like capture things as they are in these moments, as kind of analog as possible, which I think is cool.
Yeah, well, there's it fits with the sort of TV commercial teaser too. This idea that maybe the 90s or the time that this shooting on film, all the stuff is harkening back to, is this kind of pre-digital age era where physical togetherness, was more essential to our lives. And that was the way that we were around each other. We weren't, you couldn't just text everyone.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's something to that or not.
No, that makes a lot of sense to me.
All right, next up is Know Better, song featuring CK, and is, I don't know, this one felt a little more straightforward to me than some of the other stuff on this album. Another pretty short one that just kind of gets, it's got a decently hooky chorus, I think, and a really great horn part, but other than that, yeah. I don't know that it really stands out a ton.
Yeah, there's some interesting production choices on this one. The drums sound wild on this song. Like the toms sound like they are like 50 feet underwater, which is wild. But I kind of love it. Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, the horns on this song are really great. Again, supplied by Egypt 80. Love it. There's some more great organ on this one. But yeah, this song is, yeah, I think in a lot of ways more straightforward than a lot of the other stuff on this record.
Yeah. Do you feel like this one runs out of steam faster than any of her other records? Just like because because it is just a shorter record. It's really, if you, without counting the interludes, it's really only like a 10-song album. And then to already have a song here where it's like, I don't know, this one feels a little straightforward.
I'm unsure because I feel like Paid in Pleasure feels like weird, like not weirdly, it very pointedly like a continuation of this song, but less so thematically than like some of the other like continuations we've seen thus far. Like my first note on Paid in Pleasure is it's like Know Better didn't even end. So
yeah, I wasn't really thinking of this as a paired song, but I guess it is.
Yeah, lyrically I don't know that it really is at all. But they do feel like they are maybe kind of supposed to be opposites in a way. I'm not 100% on that. I'd have to sit more with these two back to back.
Yeah. This one, the liner notes talk about specifically quote Bob Marley, and this line, the possessions make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever, which feels all these liner notes, these inspired by things, I think are they're all, of course, they're always very informative of the themes and the vibes of the album. But I think this one in particular is that feels pretty spot on.
Yeah, definitely. Hard agree.
This has the line, "I lick from your nectar," which is like she's not disguising the innuendo at all.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this part of the album is where it admittedly, like, I don't want to say it loses me, but I definitely find like it's a little less exciting after Waterslide, I think.
I can see that a little bit, yeah.
There's something about the end of this record, and it's kind of getting into Only Have Eyes for Two as well, that I feel like and probably intentionally so, the album is sort of structured to slide away from the party vibe a little bit as it gets to the end, because I feel like it ends with a couple of very introspective personal songs, the first of which is These Only Have Eyes for Two. And so I guess maybe the vibe change that I'm sensing is sort of the intention of the flow of the album.
Yeah. The night's winding down. The party is not necessarily ending, but it's starting to approach it. I can see it.
Yeah. This is a riff on the old like jazz standard I Only Have Eyes for You, but making it about polyamory. A lot of really cool synth work on the song. The way that the synths seem like they're kind of flying all over the mix is very cool.
Yeah, there's some cool synths happening here. There's some wild piano happening somewhere deep in this mix.
It's a similar effect to what they're doing on Phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah, that stood out to me too.
Yeah. I love that, given that this is a play on a jazz standard, we also get these like really big strings at the end on this song. Did you watch the like Adobe presented like minute-long film thing that accompanied this?
Oh no, I didn't get
with
to
the
that.
rabbits. It is quite literally like there's a rabbit that gets out of a cab. It walks up to a restaurant where where two rabbits are. These are anthropomorphic rabbits, obviously.
Like the David Lynch rabbits.
I genuinely was like, I am not sure where this is. Like, I know the vibe of this song, but this whole thing is making me think David Lynch rabbits, and I don't know how I feel about that. But naturally, rabbit number 3 walks into the restaurant with the two rabbits that are already sitting at the table, and then they all go hang out on a hill and make out with each other. It's a very happy ending. But yeah, I don't know. I like the song quite a bit. It is, yeah. Again, it's way more. I don't want to say subdued, because there is some wild stuff happening on this song instrumentally, but like, yeah, we're kind of scaling back the energy a little bit. It is more introspective, as you already said, and I like that. What is where does this line actually? Oh yeah, it's at the end of the second verse. Just kind of we said some things that we can't take back. I'm happy it's out in the open. Like that is a very like kind of tender moment on this record.
Yeah. Then we get to the closer, A Dry Red, which is a quieter closer than she typically does, based around a little acoustic guitar and a fairly simple beat. It's just a song that's kind of about this pure emotion of just wanting someone, and it's about quiet intimacy, and it's about understanding, and it feels like it takes the album out on like a similar, like a summer night vibe, but like, oh, the night is like we're watching the sun come up, maybe, is kind of the feeling I get from this one.
Yeah, I definitely also get that feeling from this song. This does feature the really stellar rhyme. Now, baby, I'm choosy, but you and me can fuck in that jacuzzi. Just what a rhyme. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, again, in the middle of this otherwise like kind of like very laid back song, it is very like it is very much a like, there's a wide spectrum of ways that people can feel, and sometimes that way is a little bit silly with one of the people that you love.
Yeah.
There I wrote down, and I'm not 100% sure what I remember what I'm referring to. When you get to Ever Since the Summer, there's that like brief moment of sudden instrumental panic, like right at the end of the song, which is very, I'm not sure if that is like a like representative of like a reality setting in moment, like where you realize, oh fuck, after this the real world is back in my life, or if it's not that deep or something. But that was a notable thing for me, especially right at the end of a song like this, at the end of a record like this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have a better read on that one than you, but I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the album. It's like you said, it's a shorter album than any other Janelle Monáe project. But it's I don't know. I feel like we just kind of flew through it a little bit. I don't know. What do you have any kind of general overall thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I have much more than I've already said. I do like that. In addition to this kind of being a record that is, you know, unabashedly about loving oneself and loving others and like not apologizing for who you are or feeling like you have to apologize for who you are even though you know that's not true, which has been a running theme of a lot of the records throughout Janelle's career. Yeah, I don't know, like it's I think something we kind of failed to talk of, well, I don't want to say failed, we just didn't talk about it on the last episode was the when Janelle came out as bi, that was a big deal for a lot of people, and it made them realize that they could also do that. And I think that, like, you know, in the lead up to this album, you know, specifically with regards to, you know, coming out as non-binary, especially as a person who spent 10 solid years of their life dealing with people going, why the hell are you wearing that suit? And like, you know, being weird about how, like, quote unquote not feminine that was, and then also being super misogynistic when, you know, any other attire was worn. Like I think that like having an album like this come from somebody in this position where they are making a lot of people realize that they can, you know, be their most authentic selves, like, is really important. Like injecting that joy into someone's life is a big deal, especially if you feel like you're personally not in that place right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I had a hard time kind of finding a way into this record, but I don't want that to be seen as a criticism of the album itself. I think you're right on with how important this record is for Janelle as an artist, how important it could be for you know, tons of her fans, and I don't want to be dismissive of that at all. And obviously, like, you know, this album was nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys, and although it lost to Taylor Swift's Midnights, you know, it's in good company. Yeah, this is a better album than Midnights.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, like, you know what I mean. You know, obviously, not everything has to be for me. It's kind of the point.
Oh yeah, no, it absolutely doesn't have to be. Like I know that you recognize the merits of it, even if it's like not your thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, should we rank the discography? Is it that time?
Yeah. Oh, actually, we should talk briefly about the Champagne Shit remix with Lotto and Quavo.
Oh yeah,
which I like a lot, and I love the like continued tradition of like the remix is maybe a little bit of a misnomer. Once again, this has happened multiple times throughout the discography. But I just love when Janelle like just gets new people in that like weren't featured on the artist that she wanted to pull in. And both Lotto and Quavo of Migos fame are really great on that kind of redo of the song.
Yeah, I mean, they just seems like alternate versions of the songs more than remixes.
Yeah.
Yes,
the mix is pretty much
good.
the same, just there are more people on it this time.
Yeah. But yeah, discography ranking. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Yeah, I don't know. I mentioned this before we started the pod proper, but I feel like for me, like these could go in a lot of different orders. So like please don't get mad at me. I do think all of these albums are honestly pretty excellent.
I'm going to get very mad at you.
All right, hell yeah, thank God. Anyway, no more preamble. Number 5 for me is the Audition, the demo album, which again showed a lot of promise, set a really, really high bar for everything that came after it. Number 4 is this one, The Age of Pleasure. I like it quite a bit. It is not as much my thing as these other records are, and it makes me very excited for whatever comes next. Number 3 is the ArchAndroid. Number 2 is the Electric Lady, and number 1 for me, and honestly, this is maybe a little bit with a bullet for reasons I don't fully understand myself, Dirty Computer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine's not too far off. Switched a couple things around. I've got Age of Pleasure down at number 5. Number 4, The Audition. Number 3, The Electric Lady. 2, The Arcandroid. And 1, I did end up deciding Dirty Computer was my favorite.
Nice. Number one Noise Floor album from Janelle Monáe's catalog.
I think that happened while we were recording that episode. Because I probably beforehand I probably would have ranked Arcandroid above it, but just like talking about Dirty Computer made me appreciate it even more than I already did.
That happens to me very often on this show, so I totally understand.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess you want to do a random recommendation for this week?
Yeah, I'm going to recommend an album I actually haven't listened to that recently, but was thinking about today. I really like this artist Illuvium, aka Matthew Cooper, a Portland-based ambient artist. Kind of got me into ambient music in a way with this album, which is weird because it's solo piano stuff and is not at all ambient. I want to recommend Illuvium's album, An Accidental Memory in the Case of Death. Just a honestly pretty brief, I think it's 7 songs, suite of solo piano music, very minimal, not necessarily in the Philip Glass way, but pretty minimal as these things go. But yeah, just I remember a friend of mine played it on their college radio show back in the day, played a track off the record rather, and I was immediately kind of drawn to it, and I went and checked out his other stuff, and I was like, oh, the other stuff doesn't sound anything like this, but I still really, really like it. Yeah, he's got a new record in his Virga series coming out soon that I'm very excited about. But in the meantime, if you haven't checked it out, An Accidental Memory in the Case of Death by Illuvium.
It's a good title.
It's a great title. What you got?
I'm going to recommend Avalanche United by I'm the Avalanche, a East Coast punk band, I guess, punk
Sure.
hardcore band, pop punk band. The partially known for being Vinnie Caruana's post the Movie Life project, but Avalanche United is, I realized this past week, has sneakily become a top 25 all-time album for me, possibly.
Shit.
I just love this thing. It is just kind of, it starts fast and just never ever lets up, and not in a brutal hardcore way, just every song is a bop. I listened through it and I just added every single song to my running playlist. I don't know, there's something about both lyrically and the energy of this record that just is it gets me excited every single time I hear any song from this album. And I've never seen them live. I think I'm gonna finally see them in April, and they have a new album coming out in April that I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, that's what I've been into this week.
Nice. That is another record I haven't listened to in a while, and now I really want to go listen to it.
Yeah, it's so good. The bass line in Holy Fuck is one of the great punk bass lines.
Hell yeah. Love it.
Okay, next up on Noise Floor. Next week we're doing a bit of a little one-off palate cleanser episode. We're talking about the soundtrack to Josie and the Pussycats, which means I guess I need to watch the movie because I've never seen it.
Finally.
So yeah, that'll be a fun one. Should we say what our next series is going to be after that?
Yeah, I would love to get that out there.
Yeah, so after Josie and the Pussycats, we will be covering the albums of Mitski, starting with the very early albums that I think are they kind of hard to find, or are they up on streaming?
They are, I believe they're all up on streaming. Their track lists for some of them have changed over time, but we'll talk about them in all their forms.
Okay, yeah. So, and Mitski also has a new record that just came out, so we'll cover that obviously at the very end of the series.
Yep.
Cool. Until then, you can find us on the internet at noisefloorpodcast.com. Find us on Instagram at noisefloorpod, and send us email at noisefloorpodcast@gmail.com. We will see you next week.
See you next week.